Levay began the road to high priesthood of the Church of Satan when he was only 16 years old and an organ player in a carnival. On Saturday night, I would see men lusting after half-naked girls dancing at the carnival, and on Sunday morning, when I was playing the organ for tent show evangelists at the other end of the carnival lot, I would see these same men sitting in the pews with their wives and children, asking God to forgive them and purge them of carnal desires. And the next Saturday night they'd be back at the carnival or some other place of indulgence. I knew then the Christian church thrives on hypocrisy, and that man's carnal nature will out. From that time early in his life, his path was clear. Finally, on the last night of April 1966, Walpurgisnacht, the most important festival of the believers in witchcraft, Levay shaved his head in the tradition of ancient executioners and announced the formation of the Church of Satan. He had seen the need for a church that would recapture man's body and his carnal desires as objects of celebration. Since worship of fleshly things produces pleasure, I said, there would then be a temple of glorious indulgence. The Satanic Bible, Anton Sandor Levay. For Diane. Preface. This book was written because, with very few exceptions, every tract and paper, every secret grimoire, all the great works on the subject of magic are nothing more than sanctimonious fraud, guilt-ridden ramblings, and esoteric gibberish by chroniclers of magical lore, unable or unwilling to present an objective view of the subject. Writer after writer, in efforts to state the principles of white and black magic, has succeeded instead in clouding the entire issue so badly that the would-be student of sorcery winds up stupidly pushing a planchette over a Ouija board, standing inside a pentagram, waiting for a demon to present itself, limply tossing I Ching yarrow stalks like so many stale pretzels, shuffling pasteboards to foretell a future which has lost any meaning, attending seminars guaranteed to flatten his ego, while doing the same to his wallet, and in general making a blithering fool of himself in the eyes of those who know. The true magus knows that occult bookshelves abound with the brittle relics of frightened minds and sterile bodies, metaphysical journals of self-deceit, and constipated rule books of Eastern mysticism. Far too long has the subject of satanic magic and philosophy been written down by wild-eyed journalists of the right-hand path. The old literature is the byproduct of brains festering with fear and defeat, written unknowingly for the assistance of those who really rule the earth, and who, from their hellish thrones, laugh with noisome mirth. The flames of hell burn brighter for the kindling supplied by these volumes of hoary misinformation and false prophecy. Herein you will find truth and fantasy. Each is necessary for the other to exist, but each must be recognized for what it is. What you see may not always please you, but you will see. Here is satanic thought from a truly satanic point of view. Anton Sandor Levay, The Church of Satan, San Francisco, Walpurgisnacht, 1968. Prologue. The gods of the right-hand path have bickered and quarreled for an entire age of earth. Each of these deities and their respective priests and ministers wisdom defiled have had their saga, and their millennium hath become as reality, each with his own divine path to paradise, hath accused the other of heresies and spiritual indiscretions. The ring of the Nibelungen doth carry an everlasting curse, but only because those who seek it think in terms of good and evil, themselves being at all times good. The gods of the past have become as their own devils in order to live. Feebly, their ministers play the devil's game to fill their tabernacles and pay the mortgages on their temples. Alas, too long have they studied righteousness, and poor and incompetent devils they make, so they all join hands in brotherly unity, and in their desperation go to Valhalla for their last great ecumenical council. Draweth near in the gloom the twilight of the gods. The ravens of night have flown forth to summon Loki, who hath sent Valhalla aflame with the searing trident of the inferno. The twilight is done, the glow of new light is born out of the night, and Lucifer is risen once more to proclaim, this is the age of Satan, Satan rules the earth. The gods of the unjust are dead, this is the morning of magic and undefiled wisdom. The flesh prevaileth, and a great church shall be builded, consecrated in its name. No longer shall man's salvation be dependent on his self-denial, and it will be known that the world of the flesh and the living shall be the greatest preparation for any and all eternal delights. Regi Satanas and Satanus. Hail Satan, the 9 satanic statements. 1. Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. 2. Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. 3. Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. 4. Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. 5. Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. 6. Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. 7. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine, spiritual, and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all. 8. Satan represents all of the so-called sins, as they all lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. 9. Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years. Fire. The Book of Satan, the Infernal Diatribe, the first book of the Satanic Bible, is not an attempt to blaspheme as much as it is a statement of what might be termed diabolical indignation. The devil has been attacked by the men of God relentlessly and without reservation. Never has there been an opportunity short of fiction for the dark prince to speak out in the same manner as the spokesman of the Lord of the righteous. The pulpit pounders of the past have been free to define good and evil as they see fit, and have gladly smashed into oblivion any who disagree with their lies, both verbally and at times physically. Their talk of charity, when applied to his infernal majesty, becomes an empty sham, and most unfairly too, considering the obvious fact that without their satanic foe, their very religions would collapse sad that the allegorical personage most responsible for the success of spiritual religions is shown the least amount of charity and the most consistent abuse, and by those who most unctuously preach the rules of fair play. For all the centuries of shouting down the devil has received, he has never shouted back at his detractors. He has remained the gentleman at all times, while those he supports rant and rave. He has shown himself to be a model of deportment, but now he feels it is time to shout back. He has decided it is finally time to receive his due. Now the ponderous rule books of hypocrisy are no longer needed. In order to relearn the law of the jungle, a small, slim diatribe will do. Each verse is an inferno. Each word is a tongue of fire. The flames of hell burn fierce and purify. Read on and learn the law. The Book of Satan 1:1. In this arid wilderness of steel and stone, I raise up my voice that you may hear. To the east and to the west I beckon. To the north and to the south I show a sign proclaiming death to the weakling, wealth to the strong. 2. Open your eyes that you may see, O men of mildewed minds, and listen to me, ye bewildered millions. 3. For I stand forth to challenge the wisdom of the world, to interrogate the laws of man and of God. 4th, I request reason for your golden rule and ask the why and wherefore of your 10 commandments. 5. Before none of your printed idols do I bend in acquiescence, and he who saith thou shalt to me is my mortal foe. 6. I dip my forefinger in the watery blood of your impotent mad Redeemer, and write over his thorn-torn brow, the true Prince of Evil, the King of Slaves. 7. No hoary falsehood shall be a truth to me, no stifling dogma shall engrant my pen. 8. I break away from all conventions that do not lead to my earthly success and happiness. 9. I raise up in stern invasion the standard of the strong. I gaze into the glassy eye of your fearsome Jehovah and pluck him by the beard. I uplift a broad axe and split open his worm-eaten skull. 11. I blast out the ghastly contents of philosophically whited sepulchres and laugh with sardonic wrath. The Book of Satan 2:1. Behold the crucifix. What does it symbolize? Pallid incompetence hanging on a tree. 2. I question all things. As I stand before the festering and varnished facades of your haughtiest moral dogmas, I write thereon in letters of blazing scorn, Lo and behold, all this is fraud. 3. Gather around me, O ye death-defiant, and the earth itself shall be thine, to have and to hold. 4. Too long the dead hand has been permitted to sterilize living thought. 5. Too long right and wrong, good and evil have been inverted by false prophets. 6. No creed must be accepted upon authority of a divine nature. Religions must be put to the question. No moral dogma must be taken for granted. No standard of measurement deified. There is nothing inherently sacred about moral codes. Like the wooden idols of long ago, they are the work of human hands, and what man has made, man can destroy. 7. He that is slow to believe anything and everything is of great understanding, for belief in one false principle is the beginning of all unwisdom. 8. The chief duty of every new age is to upraise new men, to determine its liberties, to lead it towards material success, to rend the rusty padlocks and chains of dead custom that always prevent healthy expansion. Theories and ideas that may have meant life and hope and freedom for our ancestors may now mean destruction, slavery, and dishonor to us. Ninth, as environments change, no human ideal standeth sure. 10. Whenever therefore a lie has built unto itself a throne, let it be assailed without pity and without regret, for under the domination of an inconvenient falsehood no one can prosper. 11th, let established sophisms be dethroned, rooted out, burnt, and destroyed, for they are a standing menace to all true nobility of thought and action. 12. Whatever alleged truth is proven by results to be but an empty fiction, let it be unceremoniously flung into the outer darkness among the dead gods, dead empires, dead philosophies, and other useless lumber and wreckage. 13. The most dangerous of all enthroned lies is the holy, the sanctified, the privileged lie. The lie everyone believes to be a model truth. It is the fruitful mother of all other popular errors and delusions. It is a hydra-headed tree of unreason with 1,000 roots. It is a social cancer. 14. The lie that is known to be a lie is half eradicated, but the lie that even intelligent persons accept as fact, the lie that has been inculcated in a little child at its mother's knee, is more dangerous to contend against than a creeping pestilence. Popular lies have ever been the most potent enemies of personal liberty. There is only one way to deal with them: cut them out to the very core, just as cancers. Exterminate them root and branch. Annihilate them, or they will us. The Book of Satan 3:1. Love one another. It has been said is the supreme law, but what power made it so? Upon what rational authority does the gospel of love rest? Why should I not hate mine enemies? If I love them, does that not place me at their mercy? 2.